Hello guys, welcome to H2O, the A to Z of chemistry. I'm Dr. Ritu Johar, your educator for this course on general organic chemistry, and I hope you are enjoying this course with me. So today we begin with lecture 16 from the course, but make sure you watch the previous ones before viewing this one. In the last lecture, we discussed about the nomenclature of the polyfunctional compounds, and I hope with that you all have an understanding how we are going to name the organic compounds from easy to as much difficult as it can be if you are given a straight chain compound or if you are given the alicyclic compounds. Now in the nomenclature, what is left behind is just one lecture. In this lecture of ours today, we are going to discuss the nomenclature of the aromatic compounds. And aromatic compounds, they are also cyclic compounds, they are also ring-shaped compounds, but they do not have properties similar to the aliphatic or the straight chain compounds. Alright. So we are going to learn today about the aromatic compounds and how we are going to name these compounds, and it is going to be very important for us. So let us begin our learning today. So the first thing that we learn in the nomenclature of organic compounds is that we have the parent aromatic compound to be benzene with the molecular formula C6H6. And what is the structure for this compound? Well, this is a cyclic compound where there are 6 carbon atoms arranged in the form of a ring. Each carbon is making a double bond on one side and a single bond on the other side. The fourth valency being furnished by the hydrogen atom. So we have the carbon forming the 4 bonds, right? One side a double bond, a single bond with the carbon atoms, and on the other side a one bond with the hydrogen atom. So at each corner of this hexagon, you can see there is a CH present, and each carbon is making a double bond, a single bond, and all the carbons, if you look, they are making alternate double bonds and single bonds, right? So this is the structure for the benzene ring. And another structure which is possible is that if you just alternate the position of the double bonds and the single bonds, so these are the two resonating structures for the benzene ring. Another way in which we can represent the benzene ring is with this circle instead of the double bonds. So what this represents is the delocalization of the pi electron cloud. We can represent this by a complete ring or by a dotted ring as well. So these are the various representations for the benzene. What do we mean by the delocalization of the pi electron cloud is something that we will be discussing in detail when we take up the properties of benzene in the course on hydrocarbons. Here we will be just focusing on the nomenclature of these compounds. Alright. So in all the compounds where you will be seeing this structure or the structure represented by this ring, well, you will be calling this compound to be benzene. But in actually, if you want to have the IUPAC name for this compound, what is it going to be? Well, we have a ring compound where there are 6 carbons. So if it would have been all single bonds, it would have been cyclohexane. Because there are double bonds present, so it is cyclohexane. And if we write the number of the bonds, the name of the compound, this becomes cyclohex 135 triene. But the name benzene has become so prevalent that even in the IUPAC nomenclature of the compounds, rather than writing this big long name, we write it benzene only. Alright, so in all the compound names you will be seeing if the ring is present, it is benzene. Alright, the next thing is that if we have alkyl groups like the CH3 group that is present as a substituent on the ring carbon, or we have various substituted alkyl groups like the CH2Cl group, CH2OH group, CH2NH2 group, whenever they are going to be attached to the ring, we will be referring them to as the side chain. But if the groups like the OH group, the NH2 group, the Cl group, the Br, when they are directly attached to the carbon of the ring, alright. So at any of these positions, instead of the hydrogen, if we are having the groups like the OH, NH2, Cl, so this we refer to as being directly attached to the nucleus, and they are not called the side chains. They are directly attached to the nucleus, whereas when we have a CH3, CH2, Cl, so in this the functional groups like the Cl, the OH, the NH2, they are referred to as the side chain groups. Alright. Now, similar to the aliphatic compounds, the aromatics, they also include hydrocarbons, the halogen derivatives, the hydroxy derivatives, the ethers, the aldehydes, the ketones, the carboxylic acids, the amines, etc. So let us learn them one by one. So first of all, we have the mono-substituted derivatives of benzene with the general formula C6H5Y. Alright, what I mean over here is that these are the compounds which will be formed by replacing one hydrogen atom from the benzene molecule by a monovalent group which we are representing by this Y, and such compounds, they will be existing only in one form. Now what do I mean by that? Let us look at the benzene ring, right? So this is the benzene molecule. From this we have removed one hydrogen and replaced it by a Y. So where are we going to place this Y? It can be at this position, right? Or it can be at another position. Let us assume that it is at this position. It can be at this position, it can be at this position, or this position. So 6 positions, they are possible. But actually, when you're going to start the numbering of the carbons, you will be starting the numbering where this Y is present. So this is carbon number 1. This is carbon number 1. This would be carbon number 1 if you put a Y over here. So essentially, it is going to be just one compound, one structure, one form. Okay. So the mono-substituted derivatives of benzene, they exist only in one form. But now if you look at the di-substituted derivatives, the di-substituted derivatives with the general formula C6H4Y2 or C6H4YZ, where we are replacing the two hydrogens of the benzene by two monovalent groups or radicals. They may be of the same kind, that is Y2, or they may be of different kind, that is why we have put a Y or a Z. And these di-substituted products, well, they can exist in three different forms. How? Let us see that now. So we have the benzene ring. From this we have removed two hydrogens and replaced, let us say, by two Y. The same type of groups we are replacing the two hydrogens with. Alright. So now this is one way in which we can represent now the structure. We have put this, let us assume that this is position number 1 for the carbon where we have put this Y. So the next Y which we can put is at position adjacent to it. So this will be position number, if this is 1, this will be position number 2. Alright. So the other way now which you can put the second Y is that you put it at a carbon next to this carbon. Okay. Or you can put it at the further one more carbon. So if you look at the numbering now, so this is carbon number 1 and this is carbon number 2. In this is carbon number 1 and carbon number 3, and this is carbon number 1 and carbon number 4. So all we have three different forms. Now if you move one step further from carbon number 4 to carbon number 5, well, you will be starting the numbering from then this side so that you give a lower number to the Y. So it would be carbon number 1, carbon number 2 and carbon number 3, a repetition of this structure. And if you move one step further at position number 6, then you are not going to number it this way, you are going to number it this way. So it would be carbon number 1 and carbon number 2. Alright, so it would be a repetition of this structure. So what this means is that when we have this as the derivative, where you have carbon number 1 to be this, the carbon number 2 to be this or to be this, then such structures, they are called as the ortho derivatives. The carbon next to the carbon where you had put your first group. Alright, this is a ortho derivative. And the next one where we have at position number 1 and 3, this is called as a meta derivative, M derivative, and the next one is a para derivative which we represent as P. So it is at position number 1 and 4 diagonally opposite to each other. Alright, so O standing for ortho, M standing for meta, and P standing for para. Position number 1 and 2, position number 1 and 3, position number 1 and 4. So these are the three different forms a di-substituted derivative of benzene can look like. It can be a Y and a Z also, the same positions you will be getting. Okay. Now, before moving further, let us learn some rules for naming the aromatic compound containing different functional groups. The first rule is that if along with the benzene ring we have any principal functional group, and that principal functional group this has a carbon atom in it, so the carbon atom of the principal functional group this will be assigned number 1, and this would dictate the base name of the compound. The substituents, if they are going to be present, we have to give them the least possible number, and the numbering of the benzene ring this can be done in the clockwise or in the anti-clockwise direction, so as to give the principal functional group carbon number 1, or the substituents the least possible number. So this is what you have to remember while numbering the carbons of the benzene ring. The next we have is that the substituents they have to be written in the alphabetical order. This is just like we have done for the aliphatic as well as the alicyclic compounds. And then when C6H5 this is present as a substituent, we call this as phenyl. So this is what you have to remember. As an exception, for example, we have CH4. So when CH4 which loses one hydrogen, we get an alkyl radical, that is the CH3. So methane gets converted to methyl radical. Similarly, if we have C2H5, this is going to be the ethyl radical from ethane. C3H7 is going to be propyl radical from propane. But when we have C6H5 as the alkyl radical, this is not called as benzyl, this is called as phenyl. Alright, so this is one thing which you have to very importantly remember. We will be seeing more of this when we are going to do some structures, but please do remember this, that C6H5 this is called as phenyl, this is not called as benzyl. The next we have is that if they are di, tri, tetra substituted benzenes, then they are named by using the numbers appropriately. The next, let us see a few examples where C6H5, this is going to act as a substituent. So this is the phenyl ring, right? So let us see the few examples. The first example is when we have the functional group in the side chain. Alright, so when the functional group is in the side chain, this is no longer a side chain. This becomes the parent chain, and the C6H5 ring, that is the phenyl ring, this is going to be a substituent. Alright, so you will be starting with carbon number 1 for the carbon of the functional group, then it will be carbon number 2. So the phenyl ring, this is present at carbon number 2. So we will be having the name of the compound to be 2-phenyl ethanol. Carbon number 1, carbon number 2, this is ethanol, and at position number 2, the phenyl ring. Alright, and another way you can represent the same structure is that instead of writing the phenyl ring, you just put a pH over here. So that is also going to be the same thing. The next, let us see one more example. In this example, you can say again the side chain, this has a double bond and a CHO group. So a functional group is present again in the side chain. So this is going to be the parent chain. So this is carbon number 1, carbon number 2 and carbon number 3 with a double bond at position number 2. So this becomes 2-propanol. Alright, and because at position number 3 we have the phenyl ring, the whole compound names becomes 3-phenyl 2-propanol. Next, let us see one more example. So now in this example, what you can see is the side chain, this has a triple bond. Alright, when it is going to be a double bond present, a triple bond present, or a functional group present, please do remember this is going to be the parent chain, and this phenyl ring, this is going to act as a substituent. Alright, so what is going to be the name of the compound? Let us see the numbering. This is going to be interesting. If you start the numbering from this end, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, you are going to give a carbon number 3 position to the triple bond. But what you have to see is that when there is a triple bond only present, there is no functional group containing the carbon, then you have to give a lower number to the functional group if it is not containing the carbon, or if it is a double bond and a triple bond also present, you have to give a lower number to the double bond or the triple bond. So we can number the ring, the side chain from this end as well, right? So we can do that. And when we do it this way, you will be seeing that we give a triple bond carbon number position 2. So this is going to be the correct way of numbering. And when we do this way, at carbon number 1, we have the phenyl ring. And at carbon number 2, we have the triple bond. So the name of the compound, this becomes 1-phenyl 2-pentyne. Alright. And again, the phenyl ring, you can represent it by the pH. Alright. So I hope you are getting it, that how you are going to see the side chains, check for the
functional group, the double bond, the triple bond presence, and then you are going to treat it not as the benzene ring, not as the parent, but as a substituent. Now let us see one more example. So in this example, you can see that there is a benzene ring on one end. On the other end, you can see there is a cyclohexene ring present. So again, this is not a straight chain compound, but this is a cyclic compound. It is an alicyclic compound. So either it is a aliphatic compound or it is a cyclic compound, but this consists of the double bond, right? Just like there is a triple bond here and we have treated this as the parent chain, you're going to treat this also as the parent alkene. All right. So the name is going to, now one more thing that you can see is that in between these two there is a O. So this means this is an ether. All right. And how do we name the ethers? We name them as alkoxy alkanes, and in this case it is an alkene. So the parent is going to be this alkene. This is cyclo 1 hexene. You are going to give this carbon number 1 position. All right. Let me do that. So when we do that, it is going to be 1, it will be 2, it will be 3, and it will be 4, because for the double bond you have to give it position number 1 and 2. So we will be having the phenoxy group now at position number 4. So the name of the compound, this becomes 4-phenoxy cyclo 1 hexene. All right, or you can just write it as simply hexene as well. So I hope you are getting it, and you are going to practice a lot and perfect yourself as well. All right, let us see one more example. I have lot many examples so that you get your concept perfect. Now in this structure, or let me put it this way, that is more easy to see, that instead of the phenyl rings, I just put the pH. Now again, you have to give a lower number to the double bond, right? So when you're going to give a lower number to the double bond, it will be carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, and carbon number 4 also. Please do not miss this. So this is going to be butene or but1e, and we have two phenyl rings as a substituent. So the name of the compound this becomes 3,3-diphenyl but1N. So I hope now you have got it how we are going to treat C6H5 as a substituent. The next in the rule, you have to remember that if they are going to be di, tri, tetra substituted benzene, how are you going to name them? So for them, you have to obviously give the number of the substitution where it is present on the ring, right? So in this compound, you can see that nitro group is present at position number 1 and position number 2. So it is going to be 1,2-dinitrobenzene. The next you can see it is at position number 1 and position number 3. So it is going to be 1,3-dinitrobenzene. And the next it is going to be, see, there are three NO2 groups. So you have to give a position for them, and then you will be using a prefix tri in front of the nitro, right? So this will be 1,3,5 tri-nitrobenzene. Now let us see one example for the lowest sum rule. If you look at this structure, this has three substituents, the CH3 group, the Br, the chlorine, right? And in this, how are we going to name this compound? Well, one thing is that all of these three, they are going to be treated as substituents. So we will be putting them in an alphabetical order. They are always going to be as a prefix in the alphabetical order. But the next thing is that you have to number the carbons for the position of these three substituents. So how are you going to number it? One way is you can start with chlorine and move on to CH3, and the other way is that you move it the opposite way, starting with CH3 at carbon number 1, then 2, 3 and 4, right? If you number it this way, you will be giving chlorine number 1, so this is 1, plus 2 plus 4, the sum of locants is come as 7, whereas the other way you will be getting the sum of locants to be 8, right? So you have to follow the lowest sum rule over here, and the name of the compound, this is going to be 2-bromo 1-chloro 4-methyl benzene, rather than being 3-bromo 4-chloro 1-methyl benzene. All right, I hope you will remember this as well.
So now let us learn the names of the aromatic compounds of each homologous series with the functional group that is going to be the same. And the first we have is the hydrocarbons, where they're going to be all carbons and hydrogens only. So the simplest is going to be benzene itself, all carbons and hydrogens, C6H6. The next we have is a derivative of the benzene, the mono-substituted derivative, where we have a CH3 group replacing one hydrogen atom. So the name of the compound according to the IUPAC nomenclature, this would be methyl benzene. All right, and there is one more name for this, that is toluene, and it is a equally prevalent name in the IUPAC nomenclature only. Okay, so there are certain names that you will have to remember for these compounds which are going to be equally used in the nomenclature. All right, so the next we have is when we are going to have a di substituted product, we have two methyl groups now. So this is going to be 1 and 2. 1,2-dimethylbenzene, which we commonly refer to as xylene. And because this is position number 1 and 2, so this we refer to as orthoxylene. Okay, 1 and 2 always represented by a ortho. And if it is a 1 and a 3 dimethylbenzene, it would be referred to as metaxylene. And if it is going to be 1,4 dimethylbenzene, we will be referring to this as paraxylene. So these are the three forms of the di-substituted derivatives of benzene. Okay, where we have the substitution by the methyl group. The next you can see one more structure. This is we have a hydrogen replaced by the ethyl group. So the name of the compound, this becomes ethyl benzene. And then we have a propyl benzene. And then we have a isopropyl benzene, because you can see over here that the carbon which is joining the benzene ring, this is carbon number 2 of the propyl. All right, so when it is carbon number 2, when it is the isopropyl. These are the names that you have to remember. All right, and the next we have a tri-substituted product where we have removed 3 hydrogen and replaced it by 3 methyl groups. So this is a mesitylene, or mesitylene, whatever you may call it, but it is at now you can see that the three groups, they are present at position number 1, 2 and 3. It could have been a position number 1, 2 and 4, or it could have been a position number 1, 3 and 5. So these are again the three forms in which you can see this tri-substituted product. Mesitylene, a di-substituted product xylene, and a single substituted product toluene, where all the substitutions are by the methyl group. Next, we have the polycyclic aromatics, which are also aromatic hydrocarbons, but these are polycyclic nature. More than one ring is going to be present. All right. So, two or more than two condensed benzene rings, such compounds, they are called as polycyclic aromatics. For example, when we have two benzene rings joined to or fused to each other, this we called as naphthalene. When we have three rings joined to each other, this we called as anthracene. And another way in which three rings, they can be joined together, and as you can look at the structure, this is called as phenanthrene. All right. The difference between anthracene and phenanthrene is that these rings, they are joined linearly one another, whereas here the rings, they are fused at an angle. Okay, so naphthalene, anthracene, phenanthrene, if it would have been four rings, it would have been a tetracene. So these are the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. The next we have is the halogen derivatives, and in this we will be first of all discussing the nuclear halogen derivatives. The halogen atom directly attached to the carbon of the benzene ring. The first structure you can see over here. This is the benzene ring, right? And we have a chlorine as a substituent, so this becomes chlorobenzene. And because this is the phenyl ring, the common name which we can give to this compound is phenyl chloride. The next, let us see one more structure. So this is a di-substituted product. The di-substituted product, we have a CH3 group and a Cl group. So if you give the IUPAC name, the base is going to be benzene, right? At position number 1 and 2, we have CH3, which is going to be first, it is going to be chloro. Alphabetically, C is going to come before the M of the methyl group, right? So 1 chloro, 2 methyl benzene is going to be the IUPAC name. But generally, what do? We use the base root word to be toluene, all right? So because this is CH3 attached to the benzene ring, and this is the common base root that we use, toluene. So this is going to be position number 2 for the chlorine. So this becomes 2-chlorotoluene or orthochlorotoluene. And when we have the common name for this compound, it is orthotoluene chloride. So what is this toluene group? Well, this is going to be the benzene ring to which you have put a methyl group. All right. So this is toluene.
And if you remove one hydrogen from any of the positions, ortho, meta or para, this is going to be the toluene group. Okay. So just like you have C6H5 to be the phenyl group, this is the toluene group. Alright. So do remember these terms so that they are going to be very helpful for you when you're going to study further all the various reactions. Next we have the chlorine at position number 3. So this is going to be 3-chlorotoluene or metachlorotoluene or M-toluene chloride, the common name for this. And if you put it at position number 4 diagonally opposite, it is going to be 4-chlorotoluene, para-chlorotoluene or para-toluene chloride, the common name for this. Next we have again a di-substituted product, but it is same chlorine present. So this we are going to use a prefix di for it. So 1,2-dichlorobenzene or ortho dichlorobenzene. So this is going to be 1,3-dichlorobenzene or meta-dichlorobenzene. If this is going to be 1,4-dichlorobenzene or para-dichlorobenzene. So many examples. I hope you're now getting the concept clear. Let us see one more example. Can we name this compound now? So this we have the base root to be toluene. So toluene, this is going to be carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is 2,4,6-dichlorotoluene. Okay. Next, let us see the side chain derivatives now. So in the side chain derivatives, what you can see over here is that we have a carbon with a chlorine atom. So this is going to now become the parent group and this is going to be the substituent. All right. And when this is the parent chain, this is one carbon. So this is going to have the name as methane. At methane, you have one chloro group as a substituent and one phenyl group as a substituent. So the name of the compound, this becomes chlorophenyl methane. And when we have the other name for it, which we generally use, this is not the name that we are going to generally use, the name that we are going to generally use for the aromatic compound of this type, it is called as benzyl chloride. I will just come back to this name once again when we have completed two more structures. All right. Now, if you see this structure, what have we done? We have replaced one more hydrogen. One hydrogen we replaced over here with chlorine atom. In the next, from the toluene, we have replaced two hydrogens with two chlorines. So the name of the compound, this becomes dichlorophenyl methane. And the next you can see over here, we have removed all the three hydrogens of the toluene methyl group and we have replaced them by chlorine. So this becomes trichlorophenyl methane. All right. Now, what I want you to focus on is these names. When we have a benzene with a methyl group, we call it as toluene. When we remove one hydrogen from it, just look at this only, this position. All right. There is no chlorine over here. This is we call as the benzyl group. All right. So this is the benzyl group and from toluene we have removed one hydrogen. And because we have replaced it by a chlorine, so this is called as benzyl chloride. When we remove two hydrogens, then we call this as a benzyl group and we have replaced it by two chlorines. So this becomes benzyl chloride. And then we have removed all the three hydrogens. So the name of the group becomes benzo. All right. So toluene minus one hydrogen is benzyl. Minus two hydrogens it is benzyl and minus the three hydrogens it is benzo. And then whatever you're going to put over here, you're going to name that compound accordingly. All right. So benzyl chloride, benzyl chloride and benzochloride. Please do remember this. This is very important. All right. Now the next structure, you can see again we have a bromine present in the side chain. So this is going to be the principal uh, parent alkane for us. So carbon number 1 so that we can give bromine a lower number. So carbon number 1, carbon number 2. So we have 1 bromo, 2 phenyl ethane. And there is one more way in which we can name it. So starting with the carbon next to the functional group, we are going to name this carbon as alpha carbon. This is going to be beta carbon. So we have the name of the compound to be beta phenyl ethyl bromide. This is for the common name of the structure. And one more structure similarly you can see is again this is going to be carbon number 1 next to the bromine, 2 and 3. At phenyl is going to be at 3 position, bromine is going to be at 1 position. With both of them they are going to be substituents as a prefix. So 1 bromo, 3 phenyl propane and the common name alpha, beta and gamma. So this is gamma phenyl propyl bromide.
The next we have is the hydroxy derivatives, where the functional group is going to be the OH group, and first we have the nuclear derivatives, and in the nuclear derivative the first derivative is hydroxybenzene, when the OH group is directly attached to the carbon of the benzene ring, and the common name, the name which we are going to use more in organic chemistry, that is going to be phenol. So whenever we have a benzene ring to which we have OH group directly attached, we will be always referring to this as phenol. Okay, and the next we have is a disubstituted product, where this is a CH3 group and a OH group. So if you want the IUPAC name, it is going to be hydroxy and methyl, H coming before M. So it will be 1 hydroxy 2 methyl benzene. But what is the name that we use? The parent hydrocarbon is going to be toluene. The parent hydrocarbon is toluene, and then at position number 2 we have the OH group. So we have to refer this to position number 1 to the CH3 group and position number 2 to the OH group. So this becomes 2-hydroxytoluene, or it becomes orthohydroxytoluene, or the common name which we use for it is orthocresol. So when a CH3 group and a OH group, they are going to be present together, the common name is cresol. It is a 1-2 position, so it is going to be orthocresol. The next we have is metacresol, 3-hydroxytoluene or metahydroxytoluene, and then we have 4-hydroxytoluene, parahydroxytoluene or paracresol. All right, I hope this is clear now. The next we have is when we have the OH groups 2 in number, so it is going to be 1,2-dihydroxybenzene, or it is going to be ortho-dihydroxybenzene, and the common name for this which we use is catechol. The next we have is 1,3-dihydroxybenzene, meta-dihydroxybenzene or resorcinol, and if it is going to be 1,4 position, we call this as quinol. And the last we have is 1,2,3 position by the OH group. So this will be 1,2,3 trihydroxybenzene, and the common name for this compound is pyrogalol. So next we move on to the side chain derivatives, which we refer to as the aromatic alcohols. So if you look at this structure, this is a benzene ring to which we have a CH3. From the CH3 we have removed one OH, so we have a CH2OH. So the parent compound is going to be methanol, CH3OH, from which we have now removed one hydrogen and replaced it by the phenyl group. So this is a substituted methanol which we have as the phenyl methanol. And if you remember the other name, if you have a toluene from which you have removed one hydrogen, we refer to it as benzyl. So this becomes benzyl alcohol. All right. The next you can see it is CH2CH2OH, to which we have a phenyl ring. So this will be position number 1, position number 2. So 2-phenyl ethanol. The next we have is the ethers, and how did we name them when we learned the ethers in aliphatic compounds? Well, we call them as alkoxy alkanes. So similarly, we are going to name them in for the aromatic compounds as well. So the oxygen is going to go with which of these two? The phenyl group or the methyl group? Well, it is going to go with that carbon which is going to be lower in number, right? So this is 1 carbon, these are 6 carbons, so it is going to be methoxybenzene. The common name of this compound is anisole, and the other way in which we can name it commonly, this is as the methyl phenyl ether. The next we have is the ethoxybenzene, which is commonly called as phenitol or the ethyl phenyl ether. And then we have the phenoxybenzene, which is the diphenyl ether. Next we have the aldehydes and the ketones, and the first of all nucleus substituted products. So here the first compound that you can see is a benzene ring which is directly attached to the CHO group. But the C now, this is not a part of the chain, and you have done the naming in the last lecture when we were discussing the polyfunctional compounds. I told you when the carbon of the functional group, this is not a part of the ring but it is directly attached to the ring, then we have special suffixes for them. And for the CHO group, the special suffix is carbaldehyde. So this compound, this is called as benzene carbaldehyde, but the common name and the generally name that we are going to use for this compound is going to be benzaldehyde, right? So benzyl, you can look at this. We have removed 2 hydrogens from the toluene, right, and replaced it by a double bonded oxygen. So this becomes benzaldehyde. The next what we have is
a benzaldehyde with a OH group. So at position number 2, so this becomes 2-hydroxybenzaldehyde or orthohydroxybenzaldehyde, or we call this as salicylaldehyde. This is the common name and a very important structure that you have to remember. All right. So what all structures I'm telling you, what all common names I'm telling you in this lecture, these all names, they are going to be repeated so many times when we are going to discuss the compounds in organic chemistry. All right. So the next you can see over here, this is a ketone, and the ketone we have this name of the compound to be 1-phenyl ethanol. So carbon number 1, carbon number 2, and at carbon number 1 of the ketone we have a phenyl ring. So this becomes 1-phenyl ethanol, or we can call this as methyl phenyl ethanol, or we call this as acetophenol. The next what you can see over here a structure is, this is a ketone again, a carbon number 1 just, ये तो मुझे देखना था ना. Next, we move on to the side chain substituted aldehydes and the ketones. So their nomenclature, this remains the same. We have already done this structure first also. So this is 2-phenyl ethanol, or we call this as phenyl ethyl acetaldehyde. The next compound you can see over here, so this is going to be the functional group, carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3. So the name of the compound, this becomes 3-phenyl propanol, or we call this as alpha carbon, the carbon next to the functional group. So alpha carbon, beta carbon. So this becomes beta phenyl propionaldehyde. The next we have is the carboxylic acids, and first of all again we will be doing the nuclear substituted products. So here we have a benzene to which we have directly attached a COOH group. So this again will going to be having a special suffix for it, and that is going to be carboxylic acid. So the name of the compound, this becomes benzene carboxylic acid, but the common name and the name that we will be using, that is going to be benzoic acid. So these names, they are very important, you have to remember them. All right, so we will never be calling this as benzene carboxylic acid, we are going to call it as benzoic acid. And now the benzoic acid, we have replaced one hydrogen by a OH group, so this becomes 2-hydroxybenzoic acid or orthohydroxybenzoic acid, and the common name for this compound is orthosalicylic acid, just like we had the salicylaldehyde. All right, the next we have is a benzene with the COOH groups 2 in number. So this is a di-substituted product, benzene 1,2-dicarboxylic acid, and the common name for this compound is phthalic acid. And when it is going to be present at position number 1 and 3, it is benzene 1,3-dicarboxylic acid. The common names, they are very important. It is isophthalic acid. And when it is going to be present at position number 1 and 4, we call it as terephthalate acid. All right. Now this compound is going to be what? Alright, if it is benzoic acid, we will be calling it as 2-methyl benzoic acid, because now the functional group, this is of more importance to us. So this is benzoic acid at position number 2. And if we have a common name for this, this is going to be orthotoluic acid. So orthotolulyl radical at the COH group, so it's ic acid. So orthotoluic acid. The next we have is the side chain substituents. So here again, very simple, same nomenclature. We have the functional group in the side chain. So this is going to be the parent chain. This is carbon number 1. This is carbon number 2. So this is ethanoic acid, and phenyl group at position number 2. So 2-phenyl ethanoic acid, and this is the carbon of the functional group. The next carbon to it, we call it as the alpha carbon. So this is alpha phenyl acetic acid, the acetic acid being the common name for CH3COH. The next we have is again the functional group. This is at alpha position, a beta position. So we call this as beta phenyl propionic acid, and the IUPAC name is going to be 3-phenyl propanoic acid. All right. Next, we talk about the acid derivatives. Then the first acid derivative that we learn is the acid chlorides. For example, we have the benzoyl chloride. Now, do you think that you are learning too many structures in this lecture? Well, actually, yes. And these structures, actually, you are not going to use all of them in class 11. Most of these structures you will be understanding in class 12. Then why am I teaching you all of these together? Well, one thing, this is going to be very beneficial for you because this is going to give you a complete list of all the aromatic compounds that you will be studying in class 11 and class 12. So what you can do is, first of all, learn about the structure of benzene, and then you learn the IUPAC nomenclature, how we know name these compounds, all right, the rules that we learned, and then you have learned about the ortho, meta, para, how we use the di, tri. So all these rules you should learn. Then you should learn about the hydrocarbons related to all the benzenes, so all the methyl, the ethyl, the toluene, and all these names you should know. And then you should at least learn about the halogen derivatives and the alcohols and the carboxylic acid, the benzoic acid. From the aldehyde and ketone, just remember one name from aldehydes, that is benzaldehyde, and another name from the ketone, remember that as acetophenone, the common ones. All right. And then whenever you are learning about the aromatic compounds, just keep this notebook along with you, and whatever information you get about a new structure that we have put in this list, you can write about that information about that structure also, and tick on that structure that now you have learned the structure also, and you should be able to tell about that structure also. So slow and steadily you will be building up your knowledge about the aromatic compounds, and then by the end of class 12 you will have a complete understanding of all these structures whose names you are seeing in this lecture. All right, so it will be a very helpful notes for you people when you are going to revise your concepts. Okay, so the acid chloride, for example, we have the benzoyl chloride. So please do not worry that you're learning many things. Whatever you can learn comfortably, learn now. Whatever you cannot, you will slow and steadily learn about all of these. Okay, so just relax. The next we have is the acid amides. So here the example is benzamide. All right, so the acid amide that we have for benzene, that is going to be benzamide. The next, it is a derivative of benzamide. We have the hydrogen of the NH2 group of the amide being replaced by the methyl group. So this becomes N-methyl benzamide. It can be any alkyl group, that would be N-alkyl benzamide. The next structure, this is a very important structure you will be learning some reactions related to later on. So this is phthalimide. Next we have is the esters. So here is an example of an ester. We have methyl benzoate. Methyl benzoate. The next ethyl benzoate, and the next phenyl benzoate. And now how do we name this compound? So this is ethyl and this is benzoate, but there is a chlorine over here in the benzoate. All right. So what you will be doing is you will be writing this ethyl, and then this is position number 1, 2, 3, and 4, to which your chlorine is attached. So you will be writing the name of the compound to be ethyl 4-chlorobenzoate. The next we have is the acid anhydrides. Again, if you do not remember the structure, this is phthalic anhydride. So do not worry at all, no problems. The next we have is benzoic anhydride. So we have two benzoic acids joined to each other by the removal of one water molecule. Again, these structures you will remember them very well when you're going to study about the individual functional group as courses. All right. So the next we have is the amino derivatives, where the functional group is the NH2 group. And first of all, the nucleus substituted products, the commonest, the simplest is going to be benzaamine, where we have the NH2 group directly attached to the carbon of the benzene ring. And the common name which we will be frequently using is going to be aniline. Alright, so we call this compound as aniline. The next we have a CH3 group along with the NH2 group. So this becomes 2-methylbenzamine or orthotoluidine. So this is now the more important base route for us. Aniline, alright, or benzamine. So this is 2-methylaniline or 2-methylbenzamine, commonly called as orthotoluidine. So if you do not remember these common names for now, if you do not remember the structures, the simplest one, aniline, is what you should remember. Alright. The next we have is 3-methylbenzamine or metatoluidine, and next we have is 4-methylbenzamine paratoluidine. The next structure is N-methylbenzamine. From the aniline we have removed one hydrogen, replaced it by a CH3 group. So this is aniline. which is substituted by a methyl group. So this becomes N-methyl aniline. And then if we have two hydrogens being replaced by the methyl groups, this becomes N-dimethyl aniline or N-dimethyl benzamine. The next we have removed one hydrogen, replaced it by a phenyl group. So this becomes N-phenyl benzamine, or you can call this as two phenyl groups to a amine, right? So this becomes diphenylamine. Next we have N-dimethyl benzamine, again two hydrogen being replaced by the phenyl groups, or you can call this as N-dimethyl aniline.
The next we move on to the side chain substituted acid derivatives. So first we have phenyl methanamine. All right. So we have the NH2 group now in the side chain. So this becomes the parent chain again. And this is going to be methanamine. And there is a phenyl group that is present. So this becomes phenyl methanamine, or you can call this as benzylamine, right? So there is one hydrogen removed from the toluene and replaced by the NH2 group. So this becomes benzyl group, to which we have added a amine. So this becomes benzyl amine. The next we have is the Grignard region. So these are going to be the organometallic compounds. There is going to be a metal present in the structure of these compounds, and these are going to be very important reagents which we are going to use in organic chemistry. Many reactions and many important reactions. Alright. So which are going to use this reagent. So the structure here you can see is, this is magnesium, this is bromine, so this is magnesium bromide, and this is the phenyl ring attached to it. So we have phenyl magnesium bromide as an example of a Grignard region. The next example you can see is, we have, this is what group? This is a toluene group. So this is orthotoluene magnesium bromide. And the next you can see is paratoluene magnesium bromide. The next we have is the cyanides and the isocyanides. So look at this example. Here we have the benzene ring, to which we have attached the cyanide group, the CN group. So the carbon of the functional group, this is directly attached to the carbon of the ring. So we are going to use the special suffix for this. We will not be using nitrile, we will be using carbonitrile. So this becomes benzene carbonitrile. And as you can see, if this would not have been there, the three valencies of carbon of the toluene, that is free, right? So this is going to be benzo group when we have only the carbon. All the three hydrogens from the toluene, they have been removed from this position. So this is going to be benzonitrile, and the common name for the compound is phenyl cyanide. The next we have is the phenyl isocyanide now, and this is commonly called as phenyl carbylamine. So next we have the nitro compounds, the NO2 being there, and it is always going to be a prefix. So it is nitrobenzene. When it is a double substituent, it is 2-nitrotoluene, as you people can see now, and it is very easy for you to understand. Or we call this as orthonitrotoluene. And then we have 3-nitrotoluene or metanitrotoluene. And then we have 4-nitrotoluene or the paranitrotoluene. The next we have is 1,3,5-trinitrobenzene. And in the next structure, which is a very important compound, it is an explosive, and this is, we have toluene, and position number 2, 4 and 6 we have the nitro groups. So this becomes 2,4,6-trinitrotoluene, a very important compound. Short form is TNT, a very important explosive. So next we have is the sulfonic acid, the functional group being SO3H or SO2OH. So the compound, this is going to become benzene sulfonic acid. The next, when we have a CH3 group and a SO2OH, the sulfonic acid group. So the name of the compound, this becomes 2-toluene sulfonic acid or orthotoluene sulfonic acid. And then we have 3-toluene sulfonic acid or the metatoluene sulfonic acid. And then we have, yes, the paratoluene sulfonic acid or the 4-toluene sulfonic acid. Now you have a complete understanding of the various functional groups, also how they are going to be named when they are going to be present in the structure of the aromatic compound. So let us see a few more structures and try to name them. All right. So you can see this as an example. First of all, this is a CHO group present. Please do not read the name, just concentrate on the structure. All right. So we have the structure, we have the benzene ring, we have the CHO group, we have the ethyl group, we have the OH group. Right. So the functional group out of all these three, this is going to be the CHO group. When the carbon is directly attached to the carbon of the ring, this becomes benzene carbaldehyde. But what was the base name that we learned? The base name we learned was benzaldehyde. So this becomes benzaldehyde, and when this is benzaldehyde, you're going to start the numbering from this end or from this end, but you have to give a lower number to the substituents. So obviously you will be starting from this end. So this is carbon number 1, this will be carbon number 2, carbon number 3, and carbon number 4. So we have 2 ethyl, 4 hydroxy. This you are going to arrange it alphabetically, benzaldehyde. So the name of the compound. Now I hope you are understanding how you're going to name these structures. The next you can see we have what as the functional group, the COOH as the functional group. And when this is the functional group, what do we use as the base name? It is going to be benzoic acid. Alright, this is benzene carboxylic acid, but the base name that we will be using is going to be benzoic acid. And then again you have to number from this way or this way. It will be obviously this way you will be giving a lower number to the substituents. So the OH group is going to be at position number 2. You can see 2 hydroxy, and then we have at position number 3 it is going to be chloro, and at position number 5 it is going to be nitro, all arranged in the alphabetical order. So 3 chloro, 2 hydroxy, 5 nitrobenzoic acid. The next structure, well, this is a NH2. So NH2 containing benzene, this is called as aniline. So the base name is going to be aniline. These names you have to learn. Alright. This is what you have to learn even in class 11. The difficult ones you will be learning later on. Do not worry about them. So this is going to be carbon number 1, carbon number 2, 3 and 4. So this becomes 4 ethyl 2 methyl aniline. So next example, let us see what we have. So this is a chlorine, a methyl group and a methyl group. So all of these, they are the substituents always. So we will be putting a prefix for them, and we are going to follow what rule? We are going to follow the lowest sum rule for the locants. So you are going to number it from 1, 2, 3, 4, or the other way you can number it is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to see which is going to be coming up as the lowest sum rule. If you're going to number it this way, the name of the compound will be 1 chloro 2 4 dimethyl benzene. So it is 1 2, that is 3 plus 4 is going to be 7, and if you number it this way it is going to be 4 chloro 1 3 dimethyl benzene, and if you number the sum of the locants it is going to be 4 plus 5, so plus 1 is 5 and 5 plus 3 is 8. So this is 7, this is 8, so the correct structure is going to be this one. We are going to number the substituents in such a way that they get a lower number according to the lowest sum rule. The next structure you can see, this is what? Well, we have a OMe. Now what is Me meaning over here? It is a CH3 group, the methyl group. We are just writing in abbreviation as Me. Alright. So this is one way of representation. So this is a methyl group CH3, to which we have an oxygen and then the benzene. So this means this is an ether, and the substituents we have a chlorine and we have the methyl group. So this is methoxybenzene, but the base name that we use for methoxybenzene is anisole. So that is what we will be using over here. So this will become carbon number 1, carbon number 2, 3 and 4. So this becomes 2 chloro 4 methyl anisole. The next structure you can see that we have a OH group, a methyl and a methyl. So the functional group is going to be the OH group. So this is the carbon number 1 where we have the OH group, and when we have a OH group directly attached to benzene, what do we call that? We call that as phenol. So the base name is going to be phenol, and then it is going to be the numbering so that you give a lower number to the substituents this way or this way. So it will be obviously this way. So it is carbon number 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this becomes 3, 4 dimethyl phenol. One last question, let us see that as well. So we have the benzene ring, and to this we have a side chain which we have the functional group, the bromines present. So this aliphatic portion, the side chain, becomes more important. So this is the parent chain, and then you're going to number it so such a way that you're going to give a lower number to the substituents. Alright, so we have the numbering in this way, so that we have at position number 1 the phenyl ring, position number 2 and 3 the bromines. If you start numbering it this way, it will be starting from position number 3, 4 and 5.
So the numbering is going to be correct this way only. I hope now you all know this. This is some very simple things that you can understand. So the name of the compounds is going to be 2,3-dibromo-1-phenyl pentane. Alright, so I hope you have an ample understanding now. The concepts, they are going to be built slow and steadily. Practice a lot of nomenclature. Alright. So that brings us to the end of this lecture. I hope you have enjoyed learning with me and you have also understood everything related to the nomenclature of the aromatic compounds. And with this, in fact, we finish up our discussion on the nomenclature of all the organic compounds. And the next lecture, this is going to be a test for you people. A test in one sense, because we are going to discuss the nomenclature of all the organic compounds with a few previous year questions from the various examinations of JEE Mains, Advanced, NEET and other competitive examinations as well. Whatever questions which I like to discuss with you, which are going to be more important. Alright, and that would be only beneficial with you if you have prepared your test very well. So you have to go back, look at all the notes that you have made while we were discussing the nomenclature. Be prepared for the test in the next lecture. First of all, you are going to attempt all the questions yourself and then we will be discussing them. It is going to be beneficial for you only that way. Alright. So please be prepared for a test in the next lecture and see you again. Have a nice day. If you have not subscribed to the channel till now, please do that. Click on the bell icon also so that you get a notification the moment we put up the next lecture for you. Alright, and also if you, while you are studying the nomenclature, you find any difficulty, please feel free. Put your doubts in the comment section. You can email them to us. The email ID is written over here. Along with that, you can join us on the Facebook page of the channel as well. The Facebook page, this has the same name as the channel itself, that is H2O Chemistry. So log in into the Facebook page of the channel, post your queries there, mail them to us, put them in the comment section, but do not keep them to yourself. Yes, you all know that you have to ask your doubts, clarify them to be perfect for your perfect for your examination. Right? So see you again. Have a nice day and best of luck for your preparation. Bye bye.